What up? How's everybody doing, man? Welcome to the Give Us a Shot Network. Make sure you give us a like, give us a follow if you haven't already. I am Mike Hughes. You are listening to the Shy Kid Podcast, presented by iHeartRadio's very own Give Us a Shot Network. Welcome to a Bears Pats post game therapy session where we break down everything that occurred over the last 3 hours. Everything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say to make it better. I don't know. Wait, yeah, you know what? Cole, I don't want to mispronounce your last name. Cole has a perfect comment. Where do we even start? You tell me. You guys let me know. Where do we start today? Where do we start today? Do we start with before the game even starting? Over 4 offensive linemen injured. We could start with the fact that Flus is still the head coach of this team. That a guy like Luke Getsy gets fired by the Raiders, but Shane Waldron gets reassurance from the organization. We could start with how everybody in the media space, everywhere, and this is no shot at a specific network. This is no shot at it. Everybody everywhere is suggesting that DJ Moore is a problem. No, DJ Moore is not a problem. DJ Moore is tired of fucking losing. That's the problem. We could start with that. We could start with our quarterback not only getting sacked 9 times by a team that, one, does not have a great defense, and two, traded damn near every pass rusher they had on the entire line. Not only was he sacked 9 times, down 16 points with 40 seconds left, 3rd and 25, sacked 9 times. The Chicago Bears kept Caleb Williams in this game. Tyson Bagent's on the sideline warming up for what? You know, and here's what gets me. Before we get into the game, here's what gets me the most pissed, to where it's like, listen, back-to-back games, first time since 2004 that the Bears haven't scored a touchdown in back-to-back games, which is crazy when you really think about it, because I feel like we did that all last year. But regardless, not the point. That's one thing. Losing games is whatever. You know what I mean? I'm a Bears fan. I've seen them lose games my entire life. But to keep the number 1 overall pick in this game after being sacked 8 times with 40 seconds left, down 16 points, what are we doing? What are you doing? You got guys in the booth saying on national television that it's good for morale, and it's making the teammates feel like he's not quitting on the team. Fuck that, and fuck them. Outside of DJ Moore and Keenan Allen and Cole and Rome, fuck everybody else. Like, what are we talking about? Oh, you don't want the offensive line to think you're quitting on him. They fucking quit on him before the game even started. There's 40 seconds left. Put Tyson Bagent in the fucking game. Then you got Flus talking about, oh, it's a 2-minute drill. We want to see how he performs. Shut the fuck up. That's what practice is for. That's what practice is for. What are you doing throughout the week? Well, what if we see this situation again? I pray to God we don't see this situation again. If you're anticipating that we're going to see a situation where the Bears are down over double-digit points, Caleb Williams has been sacked 9 times, and there's 40 seconds left in the game, if that's what you're anticipating, it's going to be a long fucking second half of the year. Like, and look, to answer a question, I fuck with Caleb. I'm here. Like, I'm riding it out. Would I have wanted Justin Fields? Yeah. Is Justin Fields on the Pittsburgh Steelers? Yeah. It's over. It's done with. I don't give a fuck. Justin's wherever he is right now holding a fucking clipboard. He's not doing shit. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. This is the Caleb Williams era, and we're treating it like he's a bridge gap Matt Barkley. What are we doing? Keeping him in the fucking game, sacked 9 times. 4th and 20. Let's keep him in the game. We're down 16 points. There's 40 seconds. Be so fucking real. It's just ignorant. It's ignorant. It's disrespectful to the fan base. It's disrespectful to Caleb Williams. And it's disrespectful to ownership. It's a big FU. We're going to go out there and we're going to get this kid hurt. Like, golly, bro. It's not rocket science. I had a flag football coach that knew when to call the dogs off when we were down bad. This is high school. Like, fuck. Take them out. It's over. And you know what the fucked up part is? This is a bigger show of ownership. Ownership is going to be key here. Because you can say what you want about Ryan Poles, you can say what you want about Matt Eberflus. But for the McCaskey family to see this in not only back-to-back weeks, but back-to-back years, to see Flus and the Luke Getsy era and now Shane Waldron disrespect this organization with the product they've put on the field. If he's not fired tomorrow, then you know they don't give a fuck. That's point blank period. The McCaskies don't give a fuck. If a real owner would see what they put on the field today and wake up tomorrow and pull him in his office and say, Matt, Shane, pack your fucking bags. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Period. But they won't. They won't because they never do. And they pride themselves that they never do. Nope. We've never fired a coach mid-season. Never done it. Nope. Maybe that's why a quarterback's also never thrown over 4,000 yards in a season. You know? Maybe that's why we're the only team left in franchise history, in league history, that's never had a quarterback throw over 4,000 yards. Maybe that's why. You know? Start Bagent, George says. You know, here's my thing. I would think about it. I would legitimately think about starting Tyson Bagent the rest of the year. Why? Because you have a rookie quarterback in Caleb Williams who has been sacked over 15 times in the last 2 games. It's not getting any better. You have the toughest schedule in the National Football League the rest of the way. You have twice against the Vikings, twice against the Packers, twice against the Lions. I believe you have the Seahawks and the 49ers. We are what? 4-5? Why? Why is he still playing? And then, like, I could hear Germ and I could hear a bunch of my other guys at the network telling me, you're quitting on him? Man, I'm just giving him a break before he quits on us. I got Shane Waldron laughing on the sideline like a fucking little school kid talking to Caleb Williams down 15 points. The fuck is so funny? Caleb's just... Literally, Shane's over here laughing. Caleb's just like this, staring into the distance. Like, Shane, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, there's no excuse for what we just saw. No excuse. No excuse whatsoever. Shane Waldron laughing on the sideline. If I'm George McCaskey, I am throwing a glass bottle at the wall in frustration. What's so fucking funny? My franchise quarterback's been sacked 9 times. You are losing to the 2-7, the 3-7 New England Patriots with Drake May as their starting quarterback. I could not name the other wide receivers on this team. I'm blurry now. I lost. I have gone full. What the hell? I don't know what just happened. That was weird. I need to unblur my camera really quick, but it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, this is the Bears' future. It's very bleak. Um, but yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do anymore. To really get us in a place where we're just confident again, and where we just believe in each other. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know. Let's check out the chat. Let's check out some comments here. Um, yeah, we got. Is it secret Bajent time yet? Yeah, it seems that way, right? It seems that way. By the way, I would love to give you guys shout outs. Um, but it's only popping up as Facebook user. So I'm not sure who's making all these comments, but I do appreciate you being here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. This is frustrating, man. This is for sure frustrating. You know, it's one of those things where I mean, you just don't have words. You don't have words for shit like this, man. You don't. You don't. I don't want there to be. The cycle repeats. Yeah, history continues to repeat itself. And you know what? You know what bothers me the most? Like, here's what really gets me. I've been saying this since the end of last season that Matt Eberflus needs to be fired. I've been saying that since the ending of last season. All week this week, all week this week, media outlets in Chicago and around the world are talking about how Matt Eberflus needs to be fired, and they're repeating the cycle of John Fox and Trubisky and Nagy and Fields, and now you have Flus and Caleb. But here's what's crazy. I've been saying that since the end of last season, whether we were keeping Justin or not. And all offseason with Hard Knocks and everything else, all of these media outlets, whether it's ESPN or FS1, wherever, oh, they loved Flus. Oh, man, he had the flyest beard in the league. Oh, man, you see his house? See his house on the lakefront? Ooh, it's so beautiful. They play for him. He's a culture guy. Now look at you. Now look at you. Oh, man, the wheels are turning. You're starting to realize culture guys don't win you freaking championships. Like, everybody had his back in the beginning of the year. What are we doing? Like, we've been talking about this. That's why I wanted Brian Daboll before they even hired Flus. That's why I wanted Jim Harbaugh this past offseason. Ben Johnson. Somebody. Anybody at all. But everybody all offseason, whether that's 670 The Score, ESPN, wherever, I don't give a fuck. Everywhere, my own friends talking about, let's give Flus another year. For what? For what? So that you're just going to sit up here a year from now and be like, hey, Caleb, by the way, everything you just learned, forget it. Scrap it. Yeah, your first year, you didn't really develop that much, so now you're playing catch-up while Jaden Daniels is going to the NFC Championship game because they brought in Cliff Kingsbury, somebody that Caleb Williams actually worked with in college. Oh, yeah, by the way, they actually revamped the offensive line and addressed it. Oh, your general manager used to be an offensive lineman for the Bears? Yeah, it shows. It shows because all of the offensive linemen on this team fucking play like he did. A practice squad nobody. Love Ryan Poles. He's done a phenomenal job. But his own position, the position, is the one he's ignored the most. Yeah, I'll draft Darnell Wright and call it a day. Nate Davis, here's 10 mil. Just hang out. Braxton Jones, oh yeah, he showed me a little bit, so I'm gonna give him an extension, and we're gonna go the distance with him as our future left tackle. I don't need Cam Robinson at the trade deadline. We'll let the Vikings get him. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just silence. Silence from the guy who talks the most in this entire city. I am silent. You just don't. You know what I mean? You just don't have it in you anymore. You're at this point where if you would have told me at the beginning of the year that by week 8 and 9, I would be saying bench Caleb Williams, not because he's bad, but because this team is awful and I don't want him to get hurt, I would have said you were crazy. This was a team that we believed some people believed we could win 12 to 13 games this year. I was more on the fritz of 10 or 10 to 12, but even I'm outlandish. Even that's a stretch right now. And like I hear a lot of people talking about Roma Dunze. It's sad, it's frustrating. Rome has not been a big part of this offense. Now, Rome is a deep ball threat, and I think he doesn't have the time, and nor does Caleb have the time to get him the ball. But also, he's not even running routes that are beneficial for him and what he can contribute to this team. I still believe in Roma Dunze. I think he's a great talent. But I think you look back on it and you're like, you have DJ Moore and Keenan Allen at that time, and you look back on it and you go, how did you not go offensive lineman? And I think that's how we're thinking today. I still believe that with Keenan Allen will leave in free agency, so to have DJ and Rome is great. I'm still a Rome believer. But to go into that second round, that third round, that fourth round, to take a punter in the fourth round instead of an offensive lineman, this is why we look the way we do. That's that point blank period. There's no other way around it. Like, you had the first 5 rounds to grab an offensive lineman and you didn't. You get Amagachi. He's fucking horrible. Yeah, I acknowledge it. Caleb Williams has lost to back-to-back weeks. Or not back-to-back weeks. Caleb Williams has lost to the number 2 and number 3 overall picks. So, you gotta own that one if you're Caleb. I'm sure, as a competitor, that definitely does sting. Drake May and Jaden Daniels not only outperform you, but overall, just losing the games in the fashion in which they did, you get dismantled and just completely torn apart by the New England Patriots. Surprisingly, you don't get torn apart by the Washington Commanders, but the way you lost, you'll remember forever. It's hard, man. And Bo Nix is, hey man, if we played Denver this year, I'm sure we'd lose to Bo Nix. Bo Nix has been phenomenal. Drake May in this game, 15 for 25, 184 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception to TJ Edwards. Great play by TJ. Stevenson, 20 carries for 74 yards. Gibson, 5 for 26. Drake May, 4 for 24. Hasty, I believe is how you say it, or Hasty, I don't know, 6 for 20. Austin Hooper, who I think most of us forgot existed, 3 for 64. Yeah. My cousin, let me tell you something, man. My cousin Kyle, shout out to him. He's on a cruise right now. He just texted me. He goes, do you think the Bears offensive line just ask defenses nicely to not sack Caleb Williams? It seems that way. It seems that way because the defense kind of just like, hey, man, get the fuck out of the way. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like they're pushing him aside. Oh, sorry, I'm in your way. Let me move out the way for you real quick. Matter of fact, let me butterball this guy up. Roast him up, put him in a microwave, preheat the oven to 450, put him in there for a little bit, and I'll serve him up to you on a fucking Thanksgiving platter. That pissed me off. Shout out Kyle. Shout out my dog. Shout out my guy. Bears lose 19-3, like we were talking about. Caleb Williams, 16 for 30, 120 passing yards. Not great. 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Back-to-back weeks of 0 touchdowns from Caleb Williams. So there's that. It's the first time since 2004 that we've had back-to-back weeks of no touchdowns. DeAndre Swift, 16 carries for 59 yards. Caleb Williams, 12 for 15 rushing. DJ Moore, 1 for 3. Roschon Johnson, 1 carry for -4 yards. Keenan Allen led the team in receptions and in yards with 5 receptions for 44 yards, 0 touchdowns. DJ Moore followed that with 3 for 24. Rome Odunze, holy crap, is a part of the league. 3 for 23. Cole Kmet finally being seen. 2 for 13. Wasn't seen until later in the end of the game. Yeah. You know what frustrates me the most out of everything? I think you look at the stats. Let's pull up the overview. We're gonna look at defensive stats here. Let's get into it. Because it's definitely crazy to me. The Chicago Bears had 1 sack this entire game. What was thought to be a top 5 defense this entire season going into the year has 1 sack against the 2-7 New England Patriots, who have one of the worst offensive lines in football. 1 sack. The New England Patriots, with one of the worst defenses, has 9 sacks. 9-to-1 ratio. The fuck are we doing, bro? Like, that's on the defense, too. I understand today was not their day. Like, they held them as long as they could. 9 sacks versus 1. We could have lost this game 19-3. If the Bears put up 4 sacks, I wouldn't have been this pissed off. You had 1 sack? I don't even remember who got that sack. Who did get that sack? Let me look. If I had to guess, I don't think it was Sweat. Defense, who had a sack? TJ Edwards had an interception. I already knew that. Sack. Jacob Martin. Shut up! Shout out Jacob Martin. Give a round of applause for Jacob fucking Martin being the only guy on this defensive line that showed up today. Montez Sweat was just fucking hanging out. We even had a loose ball, and Montez Sweat kind of just like laid down like a fucking sea turtle. Anyways. Yeah. On to the next. Do I think Drake May is better than Caleb Williams? Let me tell you something today. I don't even think Drake May is better than Jacoby Brissett, if we're being completely honest. And I mean that truthfully. I hope you believe me when I say that. Like, I really do. And he just kicked our ass. Yeah, it's a horrible take, but that's how, like, little faith I have in Drake May. Like, I've never been a Drake May fan. Never believed in him. I'm not a huge fan of North Carolina quarterbacks anyway. Obviously, as a Bears fan, they produce guys like Mitch Trubisky, Sam Howell, Drake May. Like, they're just not sound when they come into the NFL. And when Drake came into this situation with the New England Patriots, it's kind of like, not a lot of weapons around him to really develop him. Not a really great coaching staff around him to develop a quarterback. So it's hard. But he kicked our butt today. I'll tell you what, I won't lie. I'm not gonna sit up here and say that he's horrible. Showed us up. You know what I mean? But appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll still be live on the TikTok, but we're gonna get off of YouTube right now. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm not gonna do the whole spiel outro thing because I'm very pissed off today. But we appreciate you joining another Bears Live therapy session. Hit that follow button right now if you haven't already. Until then, man, check you guys out later. Bear down.
Give them a shot to do what?